Okay, so I couldn't even begin to describe why. I have no idea. But for some reason, I have been really obsessed with the idea of doing art with Sharpies. So I went online and to my local Walmart and purchased every unique package of Sharpies that I could find that I thought had different colors in it. I've got the cosmic colors, and I bought them all in thin and fat. Or, well, they're not fat. What are they? Fine and ultra fine, I think they're called. Basically regular Sharpie and then like the fine liner version of a Sharpie. And because I found out an interesting thing, apparently Sharpie colors actually do have color names. However, they don't print the names on the marker, the barrel of the marker, which, is enough to drive you crazy. So, in order to make sure I didn't get duplicates or that I could always identify the Sharpie colors when they aren't in the packages, because you can find packages of Sharpies with like listings of the colors. For example, the cosmic colors. There's like Galaxy Gray, this one's Boysenberry and Navy, and they have color names. They're listed online. I found them. But when I take them out of these packages, I'm not going to know the color names, and I'm not going to know if I already have some colors, if I want to buy like more limited edition packs like the 80s glam pack I have here, things like that. So, what I also decided to get was a label maker. And I got this really skinny 1/4-inch tape that I think will fit on the cap of the marker. And I'm going to make labels for all of my Sharpies so that even if they get mixed up after I take them out of the packaging, I'll still know which color is what and what name goes with it, so that I can try and avoid getting duplicates. So that's my plan. So let's get all this opened up and start labeling.
"2,000 years later."
So, once I labeled all the Sharpies, and it was a grueling process, let me tell you. I counted, and I had 72 ultra fine point Sharpies and 88 regular fine point Sharpies. That's like 160 Sharpie markers to make art with only a couple of duplicates, believe it or not. Which brings us to our next problem. That's way too many colors to use on one piece of art. Or at least, I think it is. Comment below if you'd like to see me struggle through using every color in one piece of art. Oh wow. Why did I say that? I take it back. Don't comment. Oh god. That sounds awful. Oh boy. Anyway, so I decided to go through and select color palettes consisting of 5 colors that I thought went together. And I used the sheet of color swatches that I made up, and the only stipulation was that one of the colors had to be a skin tone, because shockingly, Ace is drawing people, specifically girls. Ended up being girls in bathing suits, actually, because apparently I don't want summer to end, even though it's inevitable. Oh, also, no duplicate colors, so unique colors in all of the palettes. Of which I chose 4, because, say it with me now, Ace can't make decisions! So instead of choosing one 5-color palette to do one piece of art, I chose 4. Because 4 is my favorite number. And there were a lot of colors that I really liked and wanted to use. Alright, so anyway, for the first picture, the color palette consisted of Solar Flare Red, just plain standard Sharpie red, Almond, Nano Blue, which I'm noticing as I edit this, the cap colors between the fine and ultra fine are actually really different, interestingly, and Brilliant Blue. I whipped out my Crescent Render Nobly drawing pad and started sketching after I put samples of the colors on the page to remind me of what they look like, since the caps aren't really 100% true to the actual ink colors. Can you tell I've been watching a lot of DrawingWiffWaffles? She tends to do this too. This color palette made me think of nautical things, which was where the whole bathing suit thing came in. It also made me think of like retro 50s pinup girls for some reason. So that's where this one came from. I first tried a nautical inspired sailor dress before I settled on more of a bathing suit style. After I decided I had an outfit I liked, off screen I tested out different combinations of colors until I settled on a scheme that I liked. And then I colored the large main image. At this point I hadn't learned that outlining first was better since the Sharpies don't really seem to bleed very much with themselves or each other, which is great by the way. They do a little bit if you get a little overzealous and scrub at the paper or color over them too quickly when the ink hasn't had a chance to dry, but for the most part I found if I lined first with ultra fine Sharpies and then colored over them with the fine Sharpies, they didn't really smudge or bleed very much. So suffice to say this was sort of an experimental picture. I actually like the tiny one in the middle better that has the color scheme I settled on, rather than the large one, but sign it and date it and then move on to the next one. The second palette was comprised of Jelly Pink, Orion Orange, Banana Clip Yellow, Sky Blue, and Brown, just standard regular Sharpie brown. And let me just say, I was shocked how well the Orion Orange worked as a skin tone. I really thought the almond Sharpie I used in the first drawing would be the only viable option for a skin tone and all the rest would look off. But wow, do I like this color for that sort of tanned bronze, slightly deep colored skin. And I wanted to do a big ol' afro on her, which is why I sketched that out first. I was excited about it. Also big flashy gold earrings, since I have a yellow in this color palette. Also, I think the red pilot color Eno I was using to sketch went well with that sort of reddish undertone in the skin color as well, which was fortuitous. Anyway, I had to figure out what type of bathing suit I wanted to do, which ended up being a cute little bikini with a wrap. The colors in this palette were really tropical in my head, so I wanted to do something I thought someone would wear on a tropical island or like on a cruise in the Caribbean, something like that. And I really liked the wrap the girl on the bottom left was wearing, but I didn't think I could get a convincing transparent effect with the bold flat colors that Sharpies produce. So I changed it so that she was holding it instead of having it tied around her waist, so I didn't have to worry about trying to get that effect to work out. I did some more little mini color studies off camera, mostly trying to decide what hair color I wanted her to have, and then the rest would sort of follow as made sense. I really liked the blonde actually, but I really wanted to make the earrings gold. And I didn't think the pink hair would give enough contrast against the skin tone since it was also in that sort of mid-tone warm color family. Suffice to say, there was a method to my madness. This one is my second favorite out of all 4 pictures I did. I think she turned out really cute, and I really liked that I drew most of her body. If I could redo the other 3, I would probably plan a little better so that I had more room to do a full body or at least 3/4 images. But anyway, I really like her, and I had a really good time drawing that big ol' afro. So yep, let's sign it and move on to the next. The third palette for the next picture, which ended up being my favorite of the bunch, was made up of Electric Pink, Pink Lemonade, Berry, Neon Blue, which has no ultra-fine Sharpie counterpart by the way, same as the metallics and the Sharpie stained markers, and Blue. Standard regular Sharpie Blue. And oh, this one was interesting. I've been trying to figure out what an e-girl is, because Rin on DrawingWiffWaffles keeps talking about them. And yeah, I still have little if no idea. So I started off wanting to make this an e-girl because of the bright neon colors. I sort of thought that would work, but then I kind of fell down a rabbit hole, and I'm still no closer to figuring out what the aesthetic of an e-girl actually is. So yeah, I ended up drawing these big messy meatball buns, and I decided I loved those. And from pictures, I saw it sort of looked like I needed to cover this girl up if she was gonna be an e-girl, which again, I still don't really know what that means. So I gave her a hoodie that was off her shoulders and zipped in the front just at the bottom. I thought it would look cute, so I ended up keeping that idea, and I really like it. And I did try another hairstyle because it seemed to come up a lot, that big, wavy, short, like ear-length bob. But he really loved those messy bow buns, so I had to keep them. Again, I tossed some colors around off camera to decide how I was going to color her, and I really ended up liking the pink hair. I am only just now realizing, while I'm editing, that this sort of looks like Rini from Sailor Moon, which may be why I like it so much. Oh, that was totally an accident. She has blue eyes, so maybe it's not so noticeable. Who am I kidding? I just pointed it out and now no one will be able to unsee it. Good job, Ace. Anyway, I think she turned out super cute, so yeah, definitely sign and date this one before you ruin it and move on to the last. The final palette for the last picture ended up being peach, rocket fuel red, boysenberry, navy, and mint. And this one, this one was a bit of a struggle. My original plan was to use the peach as the skin tone. But then I saw how orange the peach ended up looking on the paper, and then I saw how nice and brownish red the rocket fuel red looked, and I thought it would actually make the better skin tone, so I swapped things around in my head at the last second before I started sketching. And I'm not sure it was a great idea. Probably should have stuck to my original plan, but I didn't, so yeah. More girls in bathing suits, this time with a very deep skin tone as a last-minute decision, and some form of braids. That was really all I had to go on for this one. You'll see the color studies that I tried using the peach for the skin tone to sort of convince myself it was the better option, but it was just so fake tan orange, I really didn't like it. I was way more excited about that rocket fuel red as a skin tone, so I ended up sticking with that decision. I like the pose of the large finished image. It looks like she was outside laying in the sun and someone called her attention, so she moved her sunglasses and is looking up like, huh? What? Which I thought was really cute. I don't know what it is about this one, just the pose looks stiff to me, I guess. And I didn't notice it while I was drawing it, I only notice it now while I'm looking at the final image that's done. I don't usually draw scrunched up poses like this. I probably should get a little more practice in on those since they're pretty difficult. Anyway, once I was done coloring and putting in all those tiny details and all those little braids, I signed and dated this one just like the rest, and all my artwork for this Sharpie challenge, are we calling it a challenge? This Sharpie art thing was done. This video was kind of a long one, sorry. It's what happens when you're extremely indecisive. Like Ace. Let me know which one you like the best. 3 is definitely my favorite, and 2 is definitely a close second. But I'd be interested to know which one you like best. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more speed paints. Ring the bell so YouTube tells you when I post a new video. And let me know what other sorts of things you'd like to see me use in the future, and I'll see what I can get my hands on. Until my next video, I will talk to all of you soon. Bye!